Alright, yo, I'm in the local woods and there's a lesson I want to talk about right now. It's a lesson that I've been learning over and over, kind of. And I think you can relate. I think a lot of people struggle with this. So it's basically being okay with being bad at something. So let's just go through a little story from the past, perhaps. Let's say you're back as a little kid. At school, they're playing games or making a DIY or a craft project. When I think back at that time, when there was a new sport that was going to be played, or a DIY craft project, my first reaction would be, okay, let's give it a shot. Let's see what I can do. Let's see if it's fun. So, you just started at it. I just started at it. Okay, after some time, I was also kind of thinking, as I grew older, like, ooh, am I gonna be bad at it? Am I gonna get embarrassed? Am I gonna embarrass myself with my poor skills in this sport or in this DIY project? But that was only later. In the beginning, it was just, as a kid, you just went for it. You just said, all right, this is something new. I'm just gonna try it out, and you did it. And now, as I've grown older, I see that part has been conditioned out of me, let's say. So now if there's a new sport to be played, which I'm probably gonna be not that good at, or there's a project that I'm taking up and I know that I'm not gonna be that good, I'm gonna be a beginner. My skills are not gonna be at such a level where I would say I'm confident in doing this. Now it's the first thing that comes to mind are the negative things. Whereas back in the day, it was just excitement to try something new. But now, the first thing is, what if I'm gonna embarrass myself? What if people judge me? All of those things. But the more I'm trying new things, the more I learn, okay, I can only get better if I try this. I can only get better if I keep going at it and I risk being a beginner. And okay, that might mean that people see me being a beginner. Sorry, I have to watch where I'm walking. So that's just something I want to kind of bring to your attention. There's a certain things, or there are certain things that you say, like, oh, I want to try that, or perhaps just no. It's just a mindset in general. If there's something new and you want to give it a try, you should make your first reaction be, oh, that would be cool, let's give it a shot. Don't make it like, oh, this is something new, I don't know how this works, I'm gonna be trash at this, so I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna even try. That should not be your first reaction. And if it is, well, then it's time to try to change it. For me, this filming, this making the making of these videos, it's also uncomfortable. I'm not used to speaking to a camera. I'm just giving it a go though. I mean, you see a lot of other people being good at something, you know, whether it is making videos, whether it is any sports, or whether it is them building something, a DIY project or whatever. And you know, they didn't get there without actually trying. I mean, that's so obvious. You know, in the beginning they were trash as well. You know, that's just how it goes. But be okay with being a beginner at it. You know, once you're okay with that, and you can just stick it out, you know, stick out the beginnerness, then you'll be good. Eventually, slowly, you will start to get better and better at it. That's just the lesson I wanted to talk about, because I see a lot of people, or you know, you often see people starting at something being so hesitant. I mean, even if I just look at myself, I took up a new sport, mountain biking, and then sometimes when there's other people around, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna be trash. You know, it's embarrassing. Or when I'm making videos, if I'm posting them, you know, I'm just a guy that bought a camera, and now he's making YouTube videos. My videos aren't anything crazy, as in like there's no crazy editing. It's just me walking and talking right now. And then okay, I risk let's say people judging me and saying like, oh, he's trash or whatever. Well, you know, that's okay. Most of the time these people, they're not gonna be further than you. The only people that hate on you are the people that are behind you. I mean, or they're not even trying. So I want you to embrace being a beginner at something. I know that you have a certain project in mind, or a certain sport you want to try out, or whatever, a certain skill you want to learn. In the beginning, you'll be bad at most of the things you'll try. When I look back at how I started with work, the first time I saw what I needed to do, I was like, I gotta do that? What is all of this? And now it's just a routine. I mean, if I think back at it, in the past when I did skateboarding, I was bad at the beginning. You know, everyone starts out with not being able to just ride the skateboard. But then eventually, if you stick with it, you give it a shot, then bam, oh, now I can ride a skateboard, now I can ollie. Now I sometimes can kickflip, for example, you know. I'm just giving an example in my life. So, the last thing I want to tell you or ask of you is, go out there, pick the project that you've been postponing and go do it, you know. Risk being a beginner. Risk the judgment. Be okay with it. And just give it a shot. The only way you're gonna get better is if you actually try. That's all. A quick little lesson. I hope you learned something from this, and until the next one.